Okay, so here's the deal. So for the past 6 weeks, we've been releasing content material marketing, content marketing, inbound marketing, whatever you want to call it. And we've been doing this kind of in a semi-professional way, and it's been going really good, and we really enjoy doing that. What's been happening this week, unfortunately, though, is Monday was family day. We had a huge shoot on Tuesday. It's an awesome video that's coming out hopefully in the next couple of weeks. Really excited about that. So we got very busy this week to kind of do the kind of formal video. So this week, I'm kind of doing a vlog style, kind of ad hoc impromptu video, because we still think it's very important to put out regular content, but sometimes we just don't have the resources and time to do it as professionally as we normally do. All right, so today, what I want to talk about is basically a surprising benefit that people get from doing corporate video. So we've been doing a lot of stuff about getting value out of corporate video and what do you get if you invest the time and money into corporate video. And you know, we've heard this a couple times that there is this kind of surprising thing that happens when you go through corporate video, and I'm going to explain what that is exactly. Usually the way this happens is corporate video usually starts as, you know, a conversation. Client comes to us and they say, hey, BiteSite, we want to make a video, right? So we have this idea, we want to promote a service, we want to promote a product, we want to promote our company, and then we usually work with them to come up with a concept, you know, do some storyboards, do some interviews, shoot the video, edit it together, and do all that stuff, right? Now, one of the key parts of making a corporate video is the concept meeting. So usually in the concept meeting, what happens is we sit down with the client and we start to dissect what it is exactly they're trying to say. And in trying to dissect what exactly it is they want to say, we do a lot of things like ask questions like, okay, well, what is your company about? Well, what is your service about? You know, what's the feeling? What's the culture? What's the kind of message that you want to throw out there? What's the vibe that you want to throw? What's the feeling that you want to get? And we kind of ask all these kind of dissecting questions to get really a good understanding of what it is that you're actually trying to sell or promote, right? So what we do is we get a very good picture of all the information about the company, about the product, about the service, and we learn a lot about the company. And in that same meeting, what we usually try to do is we try to ask some tough questions that may not have been answered before, right? So it's kind of like a basic messaging or marketing exercise where you're asking like, well, who's your audience? You know, who are you really getting at? You know, what is your actual benefit or service, or what is your offering exactly, right? And these are some questions that may kind of sound obvious in the beginning, you know, or they may sound obvious to you, but then when you're trying to talk to somebody else and explain it, it's maybe not so obvious. So we start to ask those questions and we start to craft this really nice message, and we start to craft who it is you're trying to get to and what you're trying to say and what you're trying to convey. After all that, what we do as well is we actually try to distill down a lot of that information, because you know, we'll have some clients who have all this information, say, oh, we're this, we're this, we're this, we're this, we're this, and we're trying to sell this, 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 this. And what we try to do sometimes is we say, okay, well, that's great, but what is the key here? You know, what are the three best things about your company, or what is it you're really trying to say in this? Can we do away with these things and do away with these things? And what we do is we really distill down all that information into some nice, concise stuff, because ultimately what it comes down to is we're trying to communicate all this information in a short period of time. And this is the really nice constraint about video, is that, you know, not always, but a lot of times videos you're trying to make short, right? You're trying to make them maybe 30 seconds, maybe a minute, maybe only a couple minutes, right? You don't have the time to expound upon like half an hour of what your message is or whatever, right? So we kind of push our client a little bit to say, okay, well, what can we do away with? What can we scrape out? And what's the key stuff that we're trying to say here? And so what ends up happening is you get all this information, you know, you're challenged on all this information to get what are you guys all about? And then we distill it down to something that we can squeeze into 30 seconds or a couple minutes. And so what you end up with as a surprise benefit is you get this really nice, concise, well thought out message about your product or your company or your service, right? And sometimes before you go through an exercise like that, you don't have a nice, concise way to describe exactly it is what you're offering. And now we've heard this from a couple of clients now who have come to us and said, you know what, even just the process of going through the messaging and the concepting phase, even that in itself offers benefit, because it forces you to think about your company in a nice, concise manner. This is the surprising benefit that you get from making a corporate video is you end up with this nice, concise, well thought out message about what you're offering or what you're selling or what your company is, whatever it is that we're trying to make a video about. And then what you can do is you can take that nice messaging and apply it to all of your other stuff, right? You know, if you meet somebody at a networking event and they're like, oh, what does your company do? Well, now you have a nice, concise way to say, well, we do X, Y, and Z, you know, in a really nice, well thought out way. You can start applying that to your one-pager materials, your website, all the stuff like that. And it's kind of a nice way to kind of go through the marketing kind of messaging exercise, because you're dealing with the constraints of video, which is generally make it shorter, make it easier to understand, make it simpler, right? So that is really the nice surprising benefit you get from dealing with corporate video. So yes, I mean, corporate video is all about getting that end product that you can show people. I mean, that in itself is a nice message. But once you've made that video, you start to feel more confident about how you speak about your company and the way you put it out there. You know, your tweets, your posts, your other marketing materials, they all kind of go really nicely with this. So for this video, we are just going to post it on multiple platforms. So if you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and check out our blog. If you're viewing this on LinkedIn or anything else, go to our blog, check it out. There's lots and lots of material like this, and we'd love to hear what you guys want to hear from this. But that's pretty much it. I just want to talk a little bit briefly about something that we've heard from a number of our clients, how even just going through that messaging exercise and kind of honing in on that, even that is a huge benefit. So thanks for tuning in, guys, and let us know if you'd like to see anything else. That's pretty much it.